avoid the turnovers. One, unfortunately, didn't cost them anything, but they also have to run. Tampa Bay is 24th in the NFL stopping the rush on defense. On the other side of the ball, the receivers got to come up big because they might have trouble running against Minnesota. They got to use the play action to get that high pursuit defense going the wrong way, and field position will be key. They got to take better advantage of it than they did last week in San Francisco.
1st and 10 for the Vikings from their own 38-yard line. The spot from which Houston missed the field goal. Terry Allen, good second effort, pulled down by Tony Covington. Ron, did you copyright that title, Pinch Points?
Yeah, I'll get residuals for it later on. But look there, because Covington getting fired up. You know, the Bucs use what's called a 5 defensive back configuration. They'll call that 3rd or 5th defensive back Bucko. And that just helps them in the pass defense. But now the challenge is, can that guy who's actually a safety slash linebacker come up and play the run well?
Well, it is now 2nd down and 7. Moon on play action. Moon takes it himself up to the 46-yard line.
You know, one of the things Warren talked to us about last night was that he likes Dennis Green in this offense because he can change the play at the line of scrimmage. Looking at Dennis Green right there. And he said that's something he didn't have the freedom to do all the time down in Houston. Now he feels he can be more of a complete quarterback. He can get his mind into the game and not just rely totally on a script. A lot of times that paralyzes a quarterback and in turn paralyzes the offensive production.
Warren Moon out of the run and shoot for the first time in a number of years. On 3rd down, Moon finds Chris Carter all the way up to the 31-yard line before he was finally stopped by Mike Magruder. 24-yard gain for Carter, who came in as the NFL's top receiver.
The matchup right here, Magruder takes him inside, and he just beats him on the inside. You know, Carter's the go-to man. He leads the NFL in receptions per game. Whenever Moon gets in trouble, that's where he's looking. Not much of a hit there by Culpepper, who was with the Vikings earlier in the year, was cut in training camp.
1st and 10 from the Buccaneers 33. Terry Allen down to the 24, 9-yard gain. Covington on the stop. What a tremendous story Terry Allen is. Missing the entire 1993 season. Surgery on both knees, and he is back in full force this year.
I want you to watch what the cutback play does. It's designed to get everybody going one way, and Allen's going to cut it back against the grain. And the big deal here is that they get blocks right there on Nickerson, and they seal off the backside. You can't give Allen that kind of time in the middle to pick and choose his holes.
2nd down and 1 after the 9-yard gain. Here's Allen, has the first down. Brad Culpepper, the former Minnesota Viking, makes the stop. Ron, Terry Allen held to just 21 yards last week by the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, well, you know, but it's an incredible statistic when you look at what he does and what the team does when he rushes for over 100 yards, like we said in the open. They're undefeated. So sooner or later, they got to get the ball to this man. Throwing the ball, I think, right now in the position the Vikings are in the division and all, can only get them in trouble. I think they'll throw just enough to keep the balance off run for the Bucs.
Allen today, 3 carries, 16 yards here in the early going. Here's Moon with time, and the pass is complete. The tight end, Andrew Jordan, pulled down by Charles Dimry. Jordan, a very pleasant surprise. 6th-round draft pick, and he has played very well as a rookie.
I think you'll be surprised how well the guy blocks, too. I keep looking at that number, and I think of Steve Jordan, the Pro Bowl tight end. But here, this is just taking what the Bucs give you. The Bucs are not a real up-in-your-face man-to-man football team. They'll play soft, and the Vikes are going to take it all day long. And you can't give Warren Moon that kind of time or that kind of look, because he'll pick you apart. One of the most underrated quarterbacks in terms of being intelligent on the football field there is.
2nd down and 7. Terry Allen up the middle. Flag on the play. Lonnie Martz made the stop. Holding call on the Vikings. Our referee this afternoon is Johnny Greer.
Holding, 62, offense. Still 2nd down.
That's Jeff Christie, number 62. Center, he got a little cloth right here. He'll be right in there. Let's see if we can pick up the hold. He's got a double team right there. Kenny, I don't know if you want to call that a hold or a reverse takedown or whatever. It's a good wrestling move. I guess they don't have a term for it yet in the official handbook.
Jeff has to remember it is football, not wrestling here today. Second down and 17. Moon on second down with time, dumps it off. Allen, Nickerson, and Martz combine on the stop. 10-yard gain on the pass play from Warren Moon to Terry Allen.
One of the things I want you to look at here is look at the time Warren has. He's going to step back here, set up for the throw, and if we can stop it right here, he's going to set his feet. There's nobody within a good 4 or 5 yards of him. That's not effective. You can't give Warren Moon that kind of time to throw the football.
On third down, Moon's pass intended for Ant Lee out of the backfield. And trotting out onto the field right now, Quad Reves, one of the heroes of last Thursday's victory over Green Bay. Reves tied the game with 17 seconds left in the fourth quarter from 29 yards, and then a game-winning 27-yard field goal in overtime. This one from 36. The holder is Mike Saxon. Reves connects from 36, and the Minnesota Vikings have taken a 3-0 lead over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In Tampa, that is Juan Reves, who just hit from 36 yards out. The Minnesota scoring drive, 9 plays, 45 yards. The Vikings lead 3-0. Vernon Turner on the left, Curtis Buckley on the right. Buccaneers averaging just 18.3 yards per kick return. This is Turner, who missed last week's game with an injury. Vernon Turner all the way up to the 35-yard line after a return of 29 yards.
Yeah, and you're happy to have that guy back. And you know, there's another guy on that kickoff return team, Curtis Buckley, 28, who we'll see a little bit later on, but he is the energy of the Bucs special teams play right now. He's everywhere. Erickson back, happy to be back into the mix here. Said last night it really doesn't matter whether or not, you know, he's in there all the time as a guy who has faith in Trent. He has faith, you know, in Weiss and wanting to win, but he's ready to go anytime regardless of when the call is.
Greg Erickson has thrown just 1 interception this year. On first down, this is the fullback, Anthony McDowell, pulled down from behind by Ed McDaniel. Gain of just 1. And there is Minnesota Vikings head coach Dennis Breen. Vikings have won their last 7 games when scoring first. Vikings on the scoreboard first today on the Quad Reves field goal. Second down and 9.
Look at the pointing, the calls being made, the adjustments on the line of scrimmage. A lot of talking going on.
Erickson back to pass on second down. It's picked off. Intercepted by Anthony Parker, and he has scored for the 3rd consecutive game.
What else can you say about Anthony Parker? I mean, the guy has had a TD in the last 2 games. Here he comes up again, and you know what? 2 of those plays have been the same thing, an out thrown to the right side of the football field. And he just comes up with the play. He's right here. I want you to watch the way he sits down inside. They're playing a 2-deep defense. This is his responsibility. He reads the ball all the way. The ball is actually thrown inside, Kenny. He got the jump on it. Turnovers, turnovers, turnovers. They will kill you time and again. And that man right there is turning them into touchdowns.
It is now 10-0 Vikings. 41-yard interception return for a touchdown by Anthony Parker, his 3rd score of the season. And
out, and I think he's looking for Courtney Hawkins, 85. We're going to run it here to run into the inside of the field. Stop it right there. I think he's looking for Hawkins to go right in here, but you can see he stopped. But look at Parker. He's on the drive. He makes the play and gets the touchdown.
Vernon Turner up to the 30-yard line, 22-yard. Kickoff return by Vernon Turner. Greg Erickson, who threw only one interception coming into this afternoon's game. That was back against the Green Bay Packers, week 4 of the season. Anthony Parker on a 41-yard interception return, the 5th touchdown scored this season by the Minnesota Vikings defense in just 8 games. Now Erickson and the Buccaneers back to work once again. 1st and 10 from their own 30. Jackie Harris comes in motion. This is the rookie Eric Rett out of Florida. His first carry of the game, and it goes for 13 yards.
Great block that time by Ty J. Armstrong, 86. Getting Eric Rett the ball. Armstrong's right there. I want you to watch the block he gets. He'll just get a crease, just enough for Rett to get through. Right there. Excellent job. They got blocks all over. Jackie Harris comes up, gets a good block. And an interesting story about Rett we'll tell a little bit later on about money and mom.
Money and mom. Goes together very well.
Sometimes.
This is Rett once again, and he is bottled up. Jack Del Rio, Vincie Glenn made the tackle.
And you know, Kenny, Rett, he signed a $1 million contract here as a rookie, and for some reason, I guess his mother, Naomi, doesn't understand exactly how much he makes. She sends him checks for $50 every week. She always calls and asks if he has enough gas money and enough groceries in the refrigerator. That's a good problem, though, right?
Well, Naomi does not understand. Even though she reads it in the paper and Eric tells her
she doesn't believe that her son
does not believe it.
Exactly. Doesn't believe her son actually makes that much money.
Second down and 7. Flag on the play. The pass is complete. Jackie Harris across midfield. Ten-yard pickup by Jackie Harris, but we will have to wait and see exactly what the call is from referee Johnny Greer. It is on the Vikings. Getting back to Eric Rett, his grandmother as well does not understand. She gave Eric $100 in singles last time he came home.
Offside, 97 defense, lining up in the neutral zone. It's declined. First down.
Yeah, well, Thomas there, see the way they line up, they call that a Nancy position. He's cocked inside. You'll be able to see it here if you look real close. And he takes right there, there it is, and he gets all of the ball he can get. You see the way Mayberry moved that ball back to give him some extra room?
We should see a lot of Henry Thomas and John Randall throughout the afternoon. Many feel they are the best tandem of interior linemen in the National Football League. On play action, Erickson's pass is complete. What a grab by Jackie Harris.
What a catch.
Todd Scott draped all over Jackie Harris, and the pass goes for another first down, 14-yard gain.
You know, Jackie Harris never ceases to amaze me. He's going to come here and drag all the way across the field. But watch the protection that Erickson has. You can't ask for any more than that. And watch this catch. I mean, Jackie Harris is a guy 6'4", 250. You know, he's getting himself up in the air, showing a little agility and ability there.
And that is Jackie Harris's 3rd catch of this first quarter. Buccaneers 1st and 10 from the Vikings 30. Eric Rett, and he is stopped behind the line. First man in, the left defensive end, Roy Barker. A loss of 3 yards.
Yeah, but you know, Barker came in and made the play, but the guy who really makes the thing happen is Thomas inside at that position. 93, that's Randall coming up, but on the inside there's Thomas. He blocks up and stops up so much stuff on that right side. Rett stopped his feet before anybody got hold to him.
We approach the 3-minute mark of this first quarter with the Vikings up 10-0, 2nd down and 14. Rett in motion to the bottom of the screen. Harrison rolling to his left, and he finds Courtney Hawkins. Dwayne Washington, the rookie first-round draft pick out of North Carolina State, made the stop after a 7-yard gain by Courtney Hawkins, who led the Buccaneers in receiving last year.
This is just a quick stop by Hawkins, and they're taking advantage of the fact that the Vikings are playing soft, working on the rookie Dwayne Washington on that side. But the Vikings are not a real up-close man-to-man teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They like to play off and play zones and let the front four get to you.
3rd down and 7. Erickson with time, and it is almost picked off. Jack Del Rio was there. And once again, the Buccaneers stopped on 3rd down as Michael Husted trots out once again to attempt another field goal.
Del Rio, the NFC Defensive Player of the Month last month. Led the team in tackles last year, leads the team in tackles this year, tied for the lead actually. Kind of the quarterback of that defense. They really feel that without Del Rio, they lose him. They'll kind of lose their continuity because he's the guy that makes the calls to the front four and tells everybody where to go.
This a 44-yard field goal attempt by Husted, and once again he is wide right. So Michael Husted 0 for 2. Vikings continue to lead 10-0.
A little dejected. Guys patted him on the helmet on the way off the field, but you know inside his head what he's thinking about. That's 2 big misses. That's points on the board.
And the Buccaneers continue to trail by the score of 10-0. Terry Allen finally gang tackled by a trio of Buccaneers. Allen in his 5th season out of Clemson.
Yeah, he tore that ligament in his knee last year and missed a great deal of the season. But you look at this guy in '92. He has a Viking single-season rushing record, 1,200 yards. I mean, Chuck Foreman was the only guy to have it before that. That was way back in '76. So that kind of shows you where the running game has been for the Vikings in the past few years. But I think it's back now with Terry Allen.
And Boone's pass was a bit behind Andrew Jordan. You mentioned earlier the Vikings all-time leading receiver, Steve Jordan, a 6-time Pro Bowler, also wore number 83. So the Vikings equipment personnel saved a bit of money on uniforms this year.
Yeah, I keep having flashbacks every time I see that number. Steve Jordan was a beast coming across the middle anytime. And Jordan there, Andrew's not too happy about dropping that football. And Warren Moon will get on you too. They talked about how in practice he gets on guys when they don't hold up their end of the deal. He's a strict professional. He's not out there to mess around and have fun in games. He's out there to get the job done.
On 3rd and 7, Moon gets the job done as he finds Condre Ismail, the 2nd-year man out of Syracuse, 8-yard gain, and a Minnesota Vikings first down.
Working on Charles Dimry that time. Once again, the credit they're giving him in the backfield, defensive backfield. Dimry here, he's giving him 7-8 yards, and he's playing inside. He has no help. It's not to the point yet, but it's 10-0 Vikings. Pretty soon, I think Floyd Peters, the defensive coordinator for the Bucs, is going to have to get a little aggressive, call a couple blitzes here and there, and come up and challenge, because Warren will just sit and take what he can get. That's part of that running shoot. He's used to playing like that.
2 tight ends, Cooper and Jordan. That was Cooper in motion. Flag. A flag on the play as Boone overthrows Jordan. And this will move the Vikings back a bit.
Warren trying to take advantage of the interior or the seams of the Bucs secondary. Pick on those linebackers a little bit, and the fact that they don't have a linebacker.
2 men moving prior to the snap and failing to reset. Both setbacks. The penalty is declined. 2nd down.
Trying to take advantage of the fact that they only have 2 linebackers in there, and that 3rd guy's a swing guy. So you got 2 guys moving at the same time, and they got it both set. Neither of the 2 sets. That's illegal. Either Allen or the tight end in motion has had to come to a set position.
And the Buccaneers...
One of them has to set, right.
Buccaneers decline the penalty. On 2nd down, Allen to the outside. Audie Nickerson led the charge after the 4-yard gain. Buccaneers making Terry Allen work for that extra yard or two.
Yeah, you saw Charles Demery, number 39 for the Bucs. He came up and he actually stopped the play. He held the outside perimeter real good and forced everything inside. Nickerson there, you know, Nickerson is a guy, he was out for all that time, or with the 3 games with the ankle injury, yet he was still the leading tackler. And that amazes me. That's a 10 to 13 tackle a game guy that you got to have in your defense if you want to be successful.
And Nickerson with the interception early in this first quarter. That is the end of 1 with the Vikings up by 10. Coliseum, where the Vikings lead the Buccaneers by the score of 10-0 at halftime. Earlier today in overtime, the Detroit Lions with a field goal, the extra period, defeating the New York Giants 28-25. So the Lions now 4-4. Just 1 victory run behind the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, and the Vikings had a good day on defense against Sanders. They held him to 16 yards total rushing. So that shows you what they do with the rushing defense.
On first down, Moon's pass is complete to the wide receiver Jake Reed, who came in number 5 in the NFC with 43 receptions. 7 yards on the pass play from Moon to Reed.
Jake Reed, the brother of Dale Carter with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, here's a guy that's really starting to get a hold of the system. Coming in, you know, his 4th year out of Grambling, really has struggled a little bit, but you can see improvement every day. He gets more and more comfortable with Moon, and Warren's a part of that because Warren will make sure he gets the ball in practice, even though he's not in the game plan. That's just the kind of guy he is.
On second down, here's Allen once again. Terry Allen, the workhorse. So far today, that is his 6th carry, 27 yards for Terry Allen, the first skill position player in NFL history to come back from ACL surgery on both knees. Not just one knee, Ron, but both knees.
Tell you what, that's a lot of rehabbing and a lot of work on that Cybex machine in there in the offseason, buddy.
You have to give a guy like that loads of credit. Coming back, missed the entire 1993 season. Here's Allen on the pitch back. Finds a hole, keeps on going across the 20, the 10. Touchdown, Vikings. "37-yard touchdown run by Terry Allen. His 5th trip to the end zone this season.
This play is going to start off to the right, and Allen's going to do what he's been doing all season long, is cut it back. But I want you to watch the way Nickerson over pursues, gets pushed. Now watch the missed tackles. 1, 2, and that's the speed right there. That does not look like a man who had knee surgery.
One remains, and it is now 17-0 Vikings. 37-yard touchdown run by Terry Allen. Flag on the extra point attempt. And the Vikings will have to line it up again. There's Tampa Bay coach Sam Weiss. Ron, the Buccaneers fell behind last week 34-0 in San Francisco. Their previous game,
87 offense will penalize 10 yards and re-kick.
It's Adrian Cooper.
In the Buccaneers' previous game, they trailed Atlanta 24-0. And right now it is a 17-0, 16-0 Minnesota Vikings lead, pending this extra point, which will be the equivalent of a 30-yard field goal. Following the penalty, the holding Saxon on the 20, and now more flags.
Arnie Bussey getting into the action now. He's jumping inside there. Now, I really can't blame him at this point. They got to try to make something happen. I would do that too. Sam Boyce is concerned us this week about not letting this team get up on him right away, because with their record and all, he felt that was the worst thing that could happen, is to get down right away. Then the memories of losing start to come back.
Encroachment, 27, defense.
Yeah, Bussey's sitting inside right over the center. He's just trying to anticipate the snap count and jump through that gap. He'll come right in here. just a bit offside.
So now Saxon will place the ball down on the 15. Still 16-0 Minnesota. And Remains gives the Vikings a 17-0 lead. Following 2 penalties, the Vikings finally convert on the extra point. From Tampa, Juan Remains kicks it off for the Vikings, who lead 17-0. Curtis Buckley had some trouble with it, and he is out to the 22-yard line.
Here's a replay of the touchdown. I want you to watch 56 Nickerson. He's going to get blocked by Christie. He's got to not get pushed on the other side of the ball because he's got help right there. If he can keep that ball going inside of him or on his inside shoulder, he'll have a chance. But you see the missed tackles right there, and everybody is kind of trailing him because he got kicked on the other side of the football. He's got to stay what's called inside out and push it to his help on the outside.
How many Bucs defenders had a piece of Allen at some point during that run?
I count about 4.
Craig Erickson on first down, and it is batted down. Flag on the play. Vency Glenn got a hand on it.
They're going to get Parker up top, I know for sure, for an illegal chuck. He ran into the receiver about 25 yards downfield.
Pass interference, 85. Offense.
Whoa.
Holding, 81. Defense. The penalties offset, still first down.
They call that pass interference on Hawkins. Hey, Kenny, these new chuck rules have got me confused. I'll tell you that right now. Hey, you make the call. I mean, Hawkins is running down the field here. Parker stops and gives him a headbutt, and it's interference on Hawkins.
Parker looked like he was taking the charge.
Oh, well.
Penalties offset. On 1st and 10, Eric Brett gets back to the line of scrimmage. Ed McDaniel, first one in on the stop. Tampa Bay Buccaneers have missed 2 field goals, 48 and 44-yard attempts by Michael Husted. And Craig Erickson was intercepted by Anthony Parker. He ran it back 41 yards for the Vikings' first of 2 touchdowns so far today. They lead 17-0. Erickson on 2nd down. And Jackie Harris not able to corral it in. Erickson, lucky he did not step over the line of scrimmage, the 22-yard line, as he scrambled away from the Viking defensive line, and the pass a bit high, intended for the tight end Jackie Harris.
You know, defensive coordinator for the Vikings, Tony Dungy, one of the things he told me this week is that they're going to try to sneak up a little 8-man front, and a couple plays ago they did that. And what that says is we're not really worried about your passing. We just want to make sure we shut down your run and Eric Rhett. And you know, your passing, we'll take care of your passing later, but we're going to stop you from running the football.
Come out! On 3rd down and 10, Erickson calls timeout with the Buccaneers trailing 17-0. We'll be right back from Tampa. And 6 of our closest friends on Halloween Eve. Vikings 17, Buccaneers nothing.
You might have to take that Chiefs hat off.
Well, maybe he knows the answer to our Aflac NFL trivia question. Who holds the NFL career record for most opponents' fumbles recovered? Answer coming up momentarily. 3rd down and 11. Erickson out of the shotgun. Hawkins in motion. And Erickson has the first down. It's Lawrence Dawsey. 15-yard reception. Dawsey returned last week after missing 17 games.
You know, one of the things that the Vikings aren't doing right now is getting inside pressure. And on that particular play, Erickson was able to step up like he is here and just throw.
Here's Erickson looking downfield. Charles Wilson's got it. And he's into the end zone. Flag on the play. "63 yards from Erickson to Wilson," but the question right now, Vikings penalty or Bucs penalty?
I don't see any Vikings jumping up and down.
Men on the field. The defense is declined. Touchdown is good.
12 men on the field, yet the Vikings were still not able to stop Charles Wilson.
You know what that was about, though? Weiss in that no huddle. The Vikings were trying to substitute. They couldn't get it in because of the no huddle. And that's why they had 12 men on the field. It created confusion for the defense.
The longest pass play of the season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Charles Wilson, who scored his first NFL touchdown against the Vikings back in '91 on a 75-yard reception. Michael Husted to attempt the point after, and it is now 17-7 on the 63-yard connection from Craig Erickson to the wide receiver Charles Wilson.
Jumps on the field, realizes he can't get on all the way, and then he gets up. That's the 12th man right there. And now look, there's no inside pressure. There's nothing threatening Erickson from stepping up, and they just blow him away right there. That's Charles Wilson. He runs a 4.3. He's a burner. He got behind a defender. And I asked once again, where is the inside pressure we talked about from Thomas and Randall?
And the kickoff by Michael Husted. Picked up by Ismael at the 5, and he is taken down at the 14-yard line.
John Lynch.
Hard hit by John Lynch, so the Vikings will start out inside their own 15-yard line. The answer to our Aflac NFL trivia question, Jim Marshall of the Vikings, who 30 years ago this week returned this fumble the wrong way, thinking he scored a touchdown, but in reality, a safety for the 49ers. Jim Marshall, 29 fumble recoveries, the NFL career record. First down and 10 for Minnesota. Boone's pass is complete. Jake Reed, and he is brought down by Charles Dimry after a gain of 4.
Yeah, but you can see the defenders now starting to come up and play a little tighter. That's Floyd Peters, the defensive coordinator for the Bucs. And one of the things he talked about just before the game was we got to not just get sacks. We need hurries, pressures. That's a stat that nobody talks about, because hurries and pressures lead to turnovers, bad mistakes by your quarterback.
Vikings lead 17-7 on second down and 6. This is Allen. Terry Allen up to the 24-yard line.
And I think this is a chance for the Bucs to play the field position game now with the Vikings. And they got them here on the other side of the 30, a third and short situation. They got to try to get off the football field. Culpepper there, 73. He talked about whether he went to the offensive guys and told them anything about the, Minnesota and what they like to do. He said, man, I spilled my guts. I spilled my guts. He said, when I walked over there, I had a headache. I told them so much of what I remember.
Well, Brad Culpepper, among the last cuts made by the Minnesota Vikings in late August, immediately picked up by the Buccaneers, and the Vikings have the first down. Nice grab by Chris Carter. 7-yard gain, his second reception of the game, number 57 this season.
Well, there were 2 nice grabs on that play. They're just checking to the quick out, going to the money man, Carter. But watch the left hand of Martin Mayhew. If he misses this tackle, Carter is still running.
Carter picked up the first down. Vikings on the 32-yard line. Terry Allen cuts to his right across the 40. Finally stopped by Tony Covington at the 43-yard line after a gain of 11.
I don't know how long I can talk about this. It's the cutback again. And I want you to watch how they take care of the backside. Stop it right there. Look at the block on Hinton. I mean, Chris Hinton, he goes 6'4", 300. He's working on a DB. The DB is not going to win that one, folks. I'll tell you from experience.
7-time Pro Bowler Chris Hinton. Moon from the 44, and he finds Ant Lee out of the backfield. Lee, the former 49er who made 2 key grabs in the closing minutes against the Green Bay Packers in the Vikings' victory last Thursday. Ant Lee in his 3rd year out of Florida State. Backed up for Ricky Waters the last 2 years, played sparingly in San Francisco.
And he really caught the attention of the Vikings because he had such a great game when he's with the 49ers when they played Minnesota.
Over 100 yards in that one.
Can't beat him, join him.
This is Scotty Graham, his first carry of the game. Graham led the Vikings in rushing as a rookie last year out of Ohio State. The Vikings really spread things out on the ground, Ron. Of course, Allen, who has 81 yards so far today, but they find a way to use Scotty Graham, Amp Lee, Robert Smith. That is the offensive coordinator, Brian Billick. Second down and 5. After the 5-yard pickup by Graham, and 11 Minnesota first down. Jake Reed pulled down by Charles Dimry. Gain of 17 yards. Jake Reed, a guy who did not see much playing time his first couple of years in the league, but he has really come on this season with Warren Moon.
I remember the game against the Giants. He dropped the ball like this, but they're working to get zones. And see, there's just little windows in there. They just fit that ball right in behind Barney Bussey that time. And that's what they're going to do. Unless you come up and play man-to-man and get in their face, they're going to pick apart those zones all day long.
First and 10 from the Buccaneers 21. Vikings lead 17-7. Scotty Graham bottled up and thrown down behind the line. Santana Dotson. Santana Dotson, the NFC Defensive Rookie of the Year just 2 years ago, but he is playing with a partial cast on his left hand. And that is part of the reason his stats have tailed off this year.
Yeah, well, he had a bigger cast on that thing before this game, but they had to take it off because he couldn't even bend his wrist to make a tackle. And, you know, they say that's really hurt his performance. He hasn't been able to get upfield and grab and pull like you see good defensive linemen doing to get to the quarterback, or just making tackles in the open field.
Boone has completed his last 5 pass attempts, make it 6 as he finds Amp Lee, who was checked to the turf by Hardy Nickerson. Gain of about 9 on the play.
See what they're going to do. They're going to bring Jordan across the middle here and clear everybody out in that zone, and then sneak Anthony right underneath to make the play. You know, and that's one of the things that good zone attack offenses do, is that they look at you and they give you somebody in your face to jump on as a deep decoy and then throw a ball underneath. And this is what Warren is used to working against. I mean, that's what the run and shoot was all about.
Excellent day so far today for Warren Moon. Does not find any receivers, did not see any receivers downfield. So he held on to it himself. Coach Dennis Green in his 3rd season in Minnesota. Excellent record against the NFC Central. Green 3-1 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last year, the Vikings came down here to Tampa, and they were defeated by the Bucs 23-10, a game which Chris Carter says the Vikings were not mentally ready. After the keeper by Moon, the Vikings gain the first down.
You know, going back to Dennis Green, we asked him yesterday, what is the most impressive thing about Warren Moon? You know about his arm and you know about his stats and all that. He said the most impressive thing is that he's accurate. You know, playing in the run and shoot hurt him because he had to throw so many passes. But now when he throws less passes, that accuracy will show up.
Moon 64% this season over the first 7 games. This is not first and goal. Ball just outside the 10-yard line. Here's Allen. Initial hit made by Tony Covington. 5 yards for Terry Allen. Now 86 yards here in this first half. You mentioned before the game that every time Allen rushes for over 100 yards, the Vikings win.
Yeah, and the bad news for the Bucs on the other side of the coin is that the top 6 tacklers for Tampa Bay, 4 of them are defensive backs. Right there that time, Covington came up and had to make the hit. But that's not good when outside of Nickerson, everybody else on the field that's making tackles are the defensive backs. That means people are getting into your secondary.
This the 12th play of the drive. Allen down to the 3-yard line.
And talking to Brian Billick, the offensive coordinator for the Vikings, one of the things he said that the Bucs were really weak in, he felt, was their front 4. They've been having some troubles. Eric Curry, number 75, you know, he's got the size, the ability and everything, but he just hasn't come through for him. And this was something that Billick wanted to take advantage of, to run the ball. And that's why we're seeing so much of a cutback, trying to get those guys to move in different directions, get them to change directions and try to pursue the football from awkward angles.
And this is now a 3rd and 2 from the 3. Well, into the end zone. It was intended for the tight end, Adrian Cooper, who was wide open.
I have no idea why Warren reloaded. He had him right off the ball. Nobody covered Adrian Cooper. But for some reason, he held it and then pumped it again. Maybe someone was in his face. Let's see if we can see anybody in Warren's line of vision. Cooper's open now. See, he holds it. And Warren is going to kick himself for that one. You can see Cooper saying, throw the ball, man, I'm open.
So Fuad Reveiz to attempt a 21-yard field goal. Reveiz now 11 of 16 this season as he gives the Vikings a 13-point lead.
Now, the 5 great...
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers by the score of 20-7 as Fuad Reveiz kicked his second field goal of this afternoon's game just moments ago. A 14-play drive led by Warren Moon. And there is Vernon Turner on the right, Curtis Buckley on the left. The deep men for the Buccaneers. Turner went 80 yards for a touchdown against the Lions earlier this season. The first touchdown on a kick or a punt return in Buccaneers history. This is Turner from the end zone. Turner spun around at the 23-yard line. Next Sunday, Fox Sports brings you Week 10 NFL action. Most of you will see the New Orleans Saints and the Minnesota Vikings, or Buddy Ryan's return to Philadelphia as the Cardinals battle the Eagles at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 Central. It all begins with the hottest one-hour pregame show on television, JV and the Gag, noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, right here on Fox Sports. Craig Erickson and the Buccaneers start out from their own 23-yard line, trailing today 20-7. The Bucs keep it on the ground on first down. Eric Rett loses 2. Ed McDaniel, the right linebacker. First Viking man there.
And Del Rio just came out of that middle position and made a hit that was unbelievable. I mean, there's a guy that can run. He can catch the football. He's a smart guy. And look at that look on his face.
Look at how wide those eyes are open. Remind you of Mike Singletary. Something about middle linebackers' eyes. Erickson on second down is taken down by Roy Barker. Flag on the play. There is Barker in his 3rd year out of North Carolina, and the penalty is on Tampa Bay. And that must be the international decline signal.
Yeah, the pressure's always been before last couple plays on the outside. Now
Holding, 86. Offense is declined. Third down.
Ty J. Armstrong, the tight end, with the hold that time. Look at the left-hand side of your screen. 86 right there. Well, they say he grabbed, they say he held. I didn't see it there, but he didn't do a good enough job of holding because it got to the quarterback. If you're going to hold it. Don't hold and give up a sack.
Now 3rd and 19 after the sack by Barker. Harrison lets it go. And the pass sails over the outstretched hands of Horace Copeland. So the Buccaneers will punt. It'll be the first punt of the ball game. Sam Weiss not very happy about this offensive series.
And Sam talked about how he likes to fly his plane on Saturdays after practice to relax himself. Well, he might be thinking about flying pretty soon here. This is not how he wanted to start things off.
Dan Straczynski out of his own end zone. Back deep, Eric Gulliford for the Vikings in single safety. And Gulliford calls for the fair catch at the 44. 42-yard punt by Straczynski. Ron, they only come out at night and they drink human blood. FBI agent Fox Mulder never believed in vampires, but this Friday he'll be seduced by one on a brand new episode of the X-Files, Friday at 9 p.m., 8 Central, after an all-new Mantis. Now, Fox Mulder, that sounds like a great name for a defensive back.
You're talking to me like I know some of those people. Come out at night, drink blood.
You and Fox Mulder pretty tight, right? Warren Moon, his pass is complete to Chris Carter, stopped by Hardy Nickerson as we approach the 2-minute warning here in this first half with the Vikings on top 20-7. 41-yard interception return touchdown by Anthony Parker and a 37-yard TD scamper by Terry Allen. Back in a moment. The Minnesota Vikings lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 27. A very interested observer here in Tampa. Coming up on the Dockers halftime, James and Terry will have scores and highlights from week 9 of this 1994 NFL season. That's coming up next on Dockers halftime. Right now, the Minnesota Vikings 2nd down and 5 from midfield. 2 minutes to go in this first half. Wide open is Chris Carter. He has the first down at the Buccaneers 38, 12-yard reception. Carter's 4th catch of this first half.
It's an understatement to say he's the go-to guy. You know, against the Cardinals earlier in the year, he caught 14 balls. That's like not looking anyplace else.
And 10 last week against Green Bay. This one intended for the tight end Andrew Jordan. Breaking it up, Lonnie Martz.
Lonnie Martz, a free agent out of Kansas City this year, picked up by the Bucs. You know, here's a guy that gets in a lot of assists. He doesn't always make a lot of tackles, but he's always that second guy there, that third guy there, always around the football. And you need a guy like that, especially when you got somebody like Nickerson inside, who you know is going to usually be the first guy to the ball. You need somebody there to clean it up right behind it.
It is now 2nd down and 10. 1:32 to go in this first half. Boone's pass is, let's see, it is a completion. Jake Reed pulls it in. Remember, the first play from scrimmage of the game by the Vikings was ruled out of bounds to Reed, but this one is a reception.
What I see here is no pressure on Warren. They ran a 17-yard comeback. That man has to run more than 17 yards, then come back to the 17-yard mark and catch the football. Demery had good coverage that time. He needs some help up front. He's got to get a pass rush. I mean, that's the defensive back's best friend.
And how about the way Reed dragged that left foot to keep himself in bounds? Warren Moon, 13 of 21, dumps it off, now 14 of 22, but amply immediately stopped by the combination of Eric Curry and Chidi Ahanatu.
Carl Wilson, that time number 91, As we look at Dennis Green, he kind of stuck his leg out to trip him on the way by. To work you on defense. He likes to work you inside, outside, all in the perimeters. He wants to pick you apart, and this is a zone defense he's seeing from Tampa Bay. And this is tailor-made for what he likes to do. In Houston with the run and shoot, look at this quarter, 10 of 14 for 85 yards. And people want to know why his completion percentage is so high. You know, the guy didn't have to throw 40, close to 50 balls a game like he did in Houston. Now he can settle down into a more or less realistic style of offense, and in turn he's more productive.
Curtis Buckley, Vernon Turner with 57 seconds remaining in this second quarter. Juan Revés, 3 field goals in this first half. This is Vernon Turner. And Turner taken down at the 26. Flag on the play once again after the 17-yard return by Turner. Holding on the Buccaneers. Coach Sam Weish looking on. Buccaneers with a record of 2 up and 5 down. They have defeated the Indianapolis Colts and the Detroit Lions. Buccaneers 2-1 here at home. 0-4.
Number 47 during the return. First down.
Yeah, that's John Lynch. Back up strong safety. He got caught for the hold that time. Now this is the kind of pressure now that you don't like to see your team go under, especially when you're 2-5 and you're up against the division leader. Now Erickson's got to throw the ball up.
First down and 10 for the Buccaneers. Final minute of this second quarter. Erickson is taken down and he lost the football. This is James Harris who fumbles himself. And let's see which team picks up the second fumble. It is the Vikings. Erickson was sacked by John Randall. James Harris recovered the football. And it will, now it's Tampa Bay possession. So the officials changed the call. Originally, they said the Vikings recovered the Harris fumble, but it looks as if Ian Beckles, the right guard, was the man that fell on it.
Erickson's going to get on the scramble here, and he doesn't see the heat coming from the backside. That's Randall. Watch the way he swoops down with that right arm. Now the ball's out. But watch the play coming from Hawkins in the backside. See, defensive linemen aren't used to getting tackled. So whenever they get tackled, it's like a shot to their system.
Now Erickson from the 4. Vince Workman. James Harris run once again in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Last week against the Packers. Actually it was Harris who intercepted the pass, and Parker picked up the fumble, ran it in for the touchdown, and now it's Harris picking up the fumble after the sack by Randall, who came in with 8.5 sacks. As we take a look at Roy Parker, there is Randall. Parker and Randall each with a sack. What are those gyrations by John Randall?
Harrison real good at holding on to the ball after an interception or a fumble recovery.
This is Workman to the outside, and that will do it for this first half. That is the end of the first half of play from Tampa Stadium, with the Vikings leading the Buccaneers 23-7. Stay tuned for the Dockers halftime as Fox NFL Sunday continues after this.
Let me say this. He said, tell them that the only way Tampa Bay can win this football game is to have to create turnovers. They have not been able to do that. Once again, Tony Dungy only strengthening, enhancing his chances of becoming a future NFL head coach with Anthony Parker's interception return. Moon, Allen, the entire offense of the Vikings playing extremely well in the first half.
All right, and in the first half, Minnesota leading that one 23-7. Okay, in Washington today, a good game between the Eagles and Redskins. Gus Frerotte looked good, but not good enough as the Eagles come away victorious. The Frerotte clan was there.
Absolutely. Mom and Dad got to be there. Out in the flat, Greg Jackson, former Giant. Interception return for a touchdown. His first in the NFL, 55-yarders. 17-7, Washington up, though. Broad play action, up inside, nobody bites for it. Oh, yes, they do. James Jenkins, 1-yard TD reception. 1 of 3 touchdown passes today by the young rookie out of Tulsa. Now going for 2. Can't find nobody to throw to, can't run it in. And now sets up this, JB, you'll love this. Eddie Murray, you bet.
30-yarder, that does it. Philadelphia improves to 6-2. Washington drops to 2-7. And Washington loses at 31-29 to the Philadelphia Eagles. In the Meadowlands, this game went into overtime. I tell you what, the Lions got this one on a controversial call. Take a look for yourself as we show you the highlights of that Lions victory.
Couple of very close calls. Here's one right here with Herman Moore. This is a touchdown pass from Mitchell to Moore. He makes a reception, both feet are down. Then he fumbles the ball. Initially ruled incomplete. Look, juggling ball, then incomplete. Now, whoop, referee says touchdown. Detroit 25, New York Giants 18. Herman Moore hit again by Jarvis Williams. Down, look at the knee, folks. The knee went down. Moore should have been down. Dan Reeves ought to be going through, just going crazy right now. This sets up the game-winning field goal.
And Jason Hansen puts the finishing touches with the chippy there. And the Lions escape on that controversial call by the score of 28-25 over the New York Giants. Dave Brown, a little tough one right now. Last 5 games, he's thrown 10 interceptions. The Bengals gave the Cowboys all they could stand before a late field goal by Bonio wins it for the Cowboys 23-20. Take a look at Jeff Blake. Good day.
Who is Jeff Blake? You're saying, well, folks, he's a third-year guy out of East Carolina. He finds Darnay Scott, a rookie out of San Diego State, 67 yards. And the Bengals shock the Cowboys up by 7. Back comes Troy Aikman, quick post, Alvin Harper. He leaps up, a 7'4" high jumper in college for the touchdown. 14-7 Bengals. Aikman back, top of your screen, 50. James Francis, we talked about it on the pregame show, illegal hit. Look at that, top of the helmet, hits Aikman in the face. Can't do that, that's a no-no. Flag, that was a 4th down play. That set up this touchdown pass from Aikman to Irvin.
And the Cowboys come away up close and for Barry Switzer. Aikman talked about the hit.
I felt fine, to be honest with you. Like I said, you take those kind of hits weekly, really, and fortunately I was able to come out of it, didn't experience anything from it, and was able to keep playing.
And because he was able to keep playing, the Cowboys improved to 7-1. Cincinnati still winless at 0-8. All right, up in Buffalo, 2 great quarterbacks going head-to-head. The Chiefs lose this one big, 44-10. A good day for Kelly, bad day for Joe Montana. Bad helmets. Terry, you played.
Yeah, I wore those kind of helmets. There's Bruce Smith coming in on Montana, who had a bad day, 1 interception. There's Joe being sacked by Bruce Smith. Cornelius Ben comes in from behind him. He knocks the ball loose. Bruce Smith, he picks it up. He recovers. Kelly, only 6 touchdown passes all year long. Finds Reed in the back of the end zone. 1 of 4 touchdown passes on the day for young Kelly. Montana out of the football game. The last time that the Chiefs lost was to the Rams. Joe had 3 turnovers in that game. 2 fumbles today by Joe and an interception. Once again, the Chiefs cannot win the big game on the road.
And 44 points, the most given up by Schottenheimer coach KC team. All right, so KC loses that one 44-10. All right, move along to New England as Terry continues to bust me. Miami leading this one by a field goal, 6-3. In Indianapolis, Don Mikowski is at the helm, and the Colts are leading it by a touchdown. Obviously, Terry likes him. Seattle and San Diego. Seattle nursing a 1-point lead. A Chris Warren touchdown accounting for the scoring by Seattle. Denver, as Terry says, is playing well. The Broncos leading the Browns 14-6. And Houston and the LA Raiders playing in LA. That game is knotted at 7 apiece. And we'll be back with more for your game after this.
A deadly avalanche leaves a family trapped with a killer.
Get your hands off my daughter.
So much suspense, so much terror, and no way out.
Do it! Do it! Kill him!
David Hasselhoff, Michael Gross.
Hi. It's me.
Avalanche, world premiere Tuesday at 8/7 Central. Parental discretion advised.
He was perhaps the greatest running back the game has ever known. And on the day he set the NFL's all-time rushing record, his uniform was sent to the Hall of Fame. His own arrival was only a matter of time.
Hi, I'm Walter Payton. My induction into Pro Football's Hall of Fame is an honor that will always be special to me. But that honor was made even more special because my son Jared presented me for enshrinement, something that no other son has done for his father.
Your friends and your fans I say congratulations too.
We're both thrilled with the Hall itself, a treasure chest of football history with its regal enshrinement gallery, its action theater, its authentic mementos and exhibitions. From 100 years of pro football, the Hall does more than celebrate the game I love. It lets the future touch the past.
The Hall of Fame, where legends never die and the season never ends. This message furnished by the National Football League.
The Minnesota Vikings looking to make it 3 consecutive wins. They lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at halftime by the score of 23-7. Kenny Albert, Ron Pitts back in Tampa. Ron Warren Moon did an excellent job moving the Minnesota Vikings downfield, 14 of 24 in that first half.
Well, you know, he's working against the Bucs in that zone defense. They don't do a lot of man-to-man stuff, and so they're real soft back there. And like we said, he's been in the run-and-shoot system. He's used to working against that soft stuff. And look what he's doing. He's moving it right down the field, and he's hurting them real bad. They're going to have to be more aggressive later on.
And right now it's time to take a look at this first half highlight brought to you by Proof Positive by MCI.
Yeah, here's the cutback play that Allen had that he scored on. And, you know, they get everybody going one way. He's got the ability to cut it back up in there and look at the acceleration. But here's what happened. This is 56 Hardy Nickerson. He's been their leading tackler for a long time. You don't always have to block these guys. Look at the way Christie just kind of pushes them out of the way. And if we can stop it here, look at all the guys that are on this side of the football that could make that play if he just stays in here and pushes the ball out there. Instead, he gets pushed. Now everybody here is in a chase angle, and they're just not going to catch Allen.
This a 37-yard touchdown run by Terry Allen. It gave the Vikings a 17-0 lead early in the second quarter. Vikings with a big edge in total yards, first downs, and time of possession.
The time of possession is the one that's killing them right now. Warren Moon's on the field, and he's making it all happen for the Vikings.
We'll be back from Tampa Stadium for the second half right after this.
You're watching Fox NFL Sunday.
Hey, so I'm thinking, what would really cheer my buddy up? Oh, this is great. Ah, yes. Quarter pounder with cheese.
Oh, pure beef smothered with fresh melted cheese. McDonald's quarter pounder with cheese. It's so tempting. What you want is what you get. So get to McDonald's today.
Mr. Williams, lunch. Oh, we forgot our gelatin.
The earliest recollection I ever had was my father when I was like about 5 years old. He was like, hey, fine, want to go see Joe Namath?
That's the way we say it in Philly. It's not Eagles, it's Eagles.
I grew up in Chicago. My dad's always yelling, Butkus, Butkus, Butkus. What's a Butkus anyway?
I love Joe Montana. I mean, the guy is a stud.
Where did they get a load of me? We're not too bad ourselves. It's the NFL.
Is this great?
We got this little hibachi. We put it on the asphalt there. It's snowing. We start playing football on the asphalt, tackle football, okay? Forget about it. It's unbelievable.
I've been a Steelers fan all my life.
Oh, what a catch!
Still fits pretty good, doesn't it?
Is this great?
Oh, did you see that? See that? Right there.
Girls big in America, don't they?
Tailgate party.
Is this great?
My dad played, my brother played, I played. Even my mama played football. Mom was probably a lineman.
Abilities are on the sideline. If I want or need any information from up above, I can always get it from my assistant coach on the sideline that's got a headset on. But when I go into a game, I want to be totally prepared on each and every situation that I'm confronted with, and I don't want interference or listening to what somebody else thinks.
If you love football like Don Shula loves football, stay tuned to NFL Sunday Ticket for more great football action.
Let there be football.
Welcome back to Tampa Stadium in Tampa, Florida, where the Minnesota Vikings, in first place in the NFC Central Division, lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by the score of 23-7. Second half kickoff as Squad Revays gets set. Back deep, Vernon Turner and Curtis Buckley. This is Turner from his own 4-yard line. Turner taken down at the 28. by Bobby Abrams. So Craig Erickson leads the Buccaneers back out, trailing 23-7.
Now, once again, Erickson's going to have to try to put the thing in the air. They might start off running it. Some multiple formations trying to throw the Vikes off balance, but sooner or later the ball's got to go in the air.
Erickson came on in the second half last week in relief of Trent Dilfer. He has gone the distance here this afternoon. On first down, the pass is complete to Charles Wilson, who caught that 62-yard touchdown in the first half, gain of 4 for the fourth-year wide receiver out of Memphis State. Sam Weiss said Craig Erickson made the start today because of the defensive situation the Buccaneers are facing. He felt the 49ers play a pretty vanilla defense, so the rookie Dilfer got the start last week. But with the Vikings 6th overall on defense, the National Football League first against the run, Sam felt more confident with Erickson back in there, and his pass is incomplete, intended for the tight end Ty.J. Armstrong, who is a bit shorter in the wallet this week. Is Ty.J. Armstrong fined $8,000. Remember, last week ejected along with the 49ers Gary Plummer for fighting. So Armstrong, one of 6 players fined, the second fine this year for Ty.J. Armstrong. Wilson in motion. On third down and 6, Erickson pressured, and he finds Rhett, who took a hard hit from Carlos Jenkins.
Jenkins right there. Went to high school in West Palm Beach, a Florida guy, you know, so he's fired up to be here. Got a lot of people at the game. And really, they just kind of set Rhett up here. I mean, he throws this out with plenty of time for Jenkins to drive on him, and he just pops him right in the back of the head. He didn't even have to wrap up on him.
Carlos Jenkins, a peewee teammate of Craig Erickson. As we take a look at Buccaneers punter Dan Straczynski, his second punt of today's game, and it's a good one. Dilfer all the way back on his own 18, 48-yard punt by Dan Straczynski, with the Vikings holding on to the 23-7 lead. Head coach Dennis Green in his 3rd season. And since Dennis Green's arrival in Minnesota, 63 interceptions, 15 defensive touchdowns, including the one earlier today by Parker. 2nd in the NFL in sacks, 4th in the takeaway department, and icing on the cake, the best outdoor record of all dome teams. Now the Vikings have made the playoffs in each of Dennis Green's first 2 years at the helm, looking to make it 3 in a row as Boone connects with Carter.
Yeah, right again, going back to the money man. It always seems like he starts off to get things going by going to Chris Carter. And Chris Carter is a guy who's been, you know, talked about a lot, you know, coming from Philly, and people have questioned his attitude toward the game and the kind of guy he is. But from what Warren has told us, he's nothing but a hard-working guy in practice all the time, and he's just really emotional. I think that emotion gets misinterpreted a lot of times.
On 2nd down, Moon faked the handoff, then he looks downfield and finds Andrew Jordan just shy of the 40-yard line. 15 yards on the pass play. Andrew Jordan, the 6th-round draft pick out of Western Carolina.
Well, the thing I still see that hurts everybody, look at the play action. Look what it does to all the Buck defenders. 3 guys took off going the wrong way. And this is coming back to the voided side, the voided zone. I mean, it's like, it's looking like a textbook playbook. You know, this is what it's supposed to look like when you talk about attacking zones and attacking at every level.
On 1st down, here's Allen. Santana Dotson made the hit on Terry Allen, who gained 6 yards, now 95 yards this afternoon, run on just 12 carries. Terry Allen already with 2 100-yard rushing games this year, including a season-high 159 against the Bears.
2nd and 4.
On 2nd and 3, here's Allen once again. Shy of the first down, Chidi Ahanatu made the tackle.
Yeah, but you know, we can say a lot about Allen as we look at Chidi Ahanatu right there, but look at this Viking offensive line. Stussy, the rookie coming in, put him at the hot position, the left tackle position. I mean, that's the position that protects the quarterback's blind side. It kind of shows you the kind of faith they have in him. McDaniel, the Pro Bowler, Christie inside, Bernard Daphne, Hinton, another Pro Bowler.
Potter in motion. Move to the air on 3rd and 1. Incomplete, intended for Adrian Cooper. In fact, the left guard, Randall McDaniel, was lined up as the fullback on the 3rd and short situation, but the pass to Cooper was incomplete. So Mike Saxon will punt for the first time today. He was a very busy man against Green Bay in the Vikings last game. He punted 10 times, and Saxon did not see any action in the first half. That is Vernon Turner in single safety.
This could be their only bright spot for today, Vernon Turner. If he can repeat what he did a couple weeks ago, and another nice punt return.
And he will start from the 10, lost the football. And it looks as if Turner recovered at the 6. 44-yard punt by Saxon, and a 3-yard loss by Turner. For the Minnesota Vikings defense, led by John Randall. 1 of 2 sacks against Buccaneers quarterback Craig Erickson. Erickson also threw an interception, which was returned 41 yards for a Vikings touchdown by Anthony Parker. Buccaneers start out deep in their own territory on their own 7-yard line. Here's Eric Rent. Up to the 9, gain of 2. Jack Del Rio on the stop.
Yeah, and the sacks have been a big deal. They haven't helped Tampa Bay's cause today, but forget the sacks right now. Take a look at the hurries right here. I mean, this, like we said earlier, leads to turnovers, and it leads to bad throws. It leads to incompletions and all that other stuff. So really, hurry may be even better than a sack.
Jackie Harrison motion on 2nd down and 8. Erickson's pass incomplete. Sailed over the outstretched arm of the left quarterback, Anthony Parker. Craig Erickson on the day, 9 of 16, 121 yards.
Unfortunately, here in Tampa Bay, this losing mentality may be starting to set in just a bit. 23-7 early in the 3rd quarter. But for Tampa Bay, you know, it's deja vu all over again. Down, and nothing's working on offense.
And it does not get any easier next week with the Chicago Bears coming to town on Sunday. On 3rd down, Erickson, he was under pressure, and he was able to complete the pass to Courtney Hawkins for a gain of 8 yards.
Apparently the Vikings made an adjustment at halftime because in the 1st quarter, Randall and Thomas weren't able to get any inside pressure. And Erickson could step up, but I want you to watch the inside pressure this time. See, they go on that loop, and Randall's going to come around the outside, and there's the hits after the throw that add up so much in the defense's favor at the end of the game.
Hawkins picked up the 1st down. Play clock down to 2. Erickson steps up, looking downfield, and it is picked off by Vincey Glenn. Second interception of the day by the Vikings, and the third pick of the season for the veteran. Vincey Glenn returned it 32 yards. Glenn with 13 interceptions over the last 3 seasons. The Vikings will take over when we come back.
It began with a simple...
He's going to carry Copeland all the way across the field, but he looks right at Erickson. He realizes he's coming back behind him and just goes up and gets a great interception out of it. That's what happens, Kenny, when you got 2 corners on each side of you. See, he's got Parker there, so all he's got to do is stay in the middle and just read the quarterback's eyes.
And following that interception by Glenn, it is first down from the 38.
Oh, Hinton.
And that was Chris Hinton, the ineligible receiver, hence the flag.
The big man tried to go up and get one. Looked like he's going to come down with it, too.
Well, he played tight end for Dennis Green at Northwestern.
At Northwestern, right.
Coach Dennis Green and Chris Hinton go back a long way. Green took over at Northwestern during Hinton's...
Illegal touching of a pass. Number 78, offense behind the line of scrimmage. That's a loss of down only. Second down.
Green came in Hinton's junior year at Northwestern. Here we take a look at the penalty once again.
Big Chris right here. He's going to realize that Warren's in trouble. And so, hey, he just, you know, his instincts take over. Actually, I think they ought to call pass interference right there. You know, how much can you say about Hinton, the first offensive lineman in history to make the Pro Bowl at 3 different positions? Both tackles and to come inside and do it at right guard.
7-time Pro Bowler. Boone's pass is complete, this time to an eligible receiver, and that is Robert Smith. Out of the backfield, Smith in his second year from Ohio State. 7-yard gain. Smith, like Terry Allen, coming back from a knee injury.
Right, and you know, he's interested in going to med school and becoming a doctor when he finishes up playing, but interesting thing what he did when he had his surgery, he said not to put him underneath all the way so he could, you know, watch and learn a little bit about the surgery.
He couldn't have it videotaped?
Yeah, a little bit easier. Maybe he wanted to advise them as they went along.
Ron Pitts wouldn't do that. On 3rd and 4, the Vikings have the first down and more. Andrew Jordan down to the 10-yard line, a 20-yard gain.
Jordan's a 6'4", 262. These guys are supposed to block. They're not supposed to be able to catch passes. But if we can stop it right here, I want you to look at the middle of the field. There's nobody there. Where are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? He runs 15 yards before a man touches him.
And now Jordan takes a breather after gaining 20. First down from just outside the 10. Boone hands it off. Allen hit first by Nickerson. As Terry Allen has hit the 100-yard mark for the 3rd time this season and the 7th time in his National Football League career. 100 yards on 14 carries.
Everyone should know by now what that means to the Vikings when this man goes over 100 yards.
Second consecutive week, a running back has hit the century mark against the Buccaneers. Ricky Waters of the 49ers last Sunday. On second down, play action, and Moon was able to get the ball away. He was in the grasp, almost in the grasp of his former teammate, at least in training camp this season, Brad Culpepper.
Yeah, Culpepper seems to be the only guy really doing anything on this front four. That time he beats Christie around the corner and gets the sack. You know, he told us, he said, I know a lot about the offensive linemen, and I told everybody everything that I know on the line. See his face there. He said, I wish I didn't know anything about Randall McDaniel. And the reason why is that I know he has no weaknesses and I know he can't be beat. If I didn't know that, he said, I probably would play harder against him. I'd have a better game.
Well, Culpepper thought that he had Moon in his grasp. Wire now calls timeout with 6:15 to go. 3rd quarter. It's the Vikings 23, the Bucs 7. Here's Moon. Touchdown, Amp Lee. For Amp Lee, his first touchdown as a Minnesota Viking. It is now 29-7.
Yeah, the thing I can't understand, Kenny, is that all day long, no one's been in the middle of the field. I want you to watch what happens in here. Watch these guys get out of there, and nobody accounts for Amp Lee. They've got a double on Carter. That's the big deal. And now Dimmery's got to try to run all the way over and make a play. I don't think so.
8-yard touchdown catch by Amp Lee. The extra point is good. And for Warren Moon, his 348th touchdown pass as a pro. Warren Moon and the Minnesota Vikings looking to make it 6-2. They lead 37. Moon on the day run, 19 of 31.
Well, I'm going to look around here, see if the moon's coming out down here, because it's sure come out on the Buccaneers so far tonight. Down on that football field.
Vernon Turner across the 20-yard line to the 23. Tackle made by Robert Griffith, and Trent Dilfer will come on with 5:58 to go in this third quarter. And this is Trent Dilfer's first appearance at home this season. He started the game in San Francisco, also came on in relief in Atlanta, and on the road against the Green Bay Packers. So the first-round draft pick out of Fresno State, Trent Dilfer, has entered the ball game with the Buccaneers trailing 30-7. And Dilfer will go to the air on first down, and the pass is complete. Lawrence Dawsey across the 30-yard line. 8-yard gain. Anthony Parker made the stop.
Yeah, Dilfer's told us over and over that, you know, I'm confident about what I can do. I know the checks and the adjustments. I just got to go out there and relax and do it. That time he doesn't try to explode everybody in the house by going downtown. He just opens up with a nice, quick look-in pattern, something safe. And you can see he's got a pretty good arm, too.
Eric Rett has the first down up to the 42-yard line. So the number 1 and number 2 draft picks by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this season, Trent Dilfer and Eric Rett, who both should be a big part of the Buccaneers' future as Lonnie Martz shaken up moments ago, heads the Buccaneers locker room. Anthony McDowell picks up the first down. Jack Del Rio, yet another stop. 5-yard gain by the fullback, Anthony McDowell.
You see Erickson on the sidelines. A few minutes ago, he was clapping, you know, after Trent's completion. That kind of shows you where these guys are at with each other. They tell you, and they're not afraid to say it to anybody, that they want each other to do well. They want what's good for the team. And, you know, a lot of guys say that, Kenny, in all good sportsmanship, but I really think that they mean it.
Play action. Dilfer was taken down by Henry Thomas. And it looks as if the Minnesota Vikings have the football. Thomas with the sack and the fumble recovery. His 54th career sack and the third of the day by the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, sooner or later, we knew Thomas and Randall were going to get home. That time they get home on the rookie. And once again, another turnover in favor of the Vikings. Run a twist. This is done to confuse the offensive line blocking scheme. We're going to freeze right here. That's Gruber. He's on Thomas for a second, and then he comes off to help on the outside, and that lets Thomas go free right into Trent Dilfer's back.
There is Henry
and he wanted
Thomas.
the football. That's why he's upset.
The sack and fumble recovery by Thomas, setting the Vikings up in Tampa Bay territory. Allen gains 7 more.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. He was over there, you know, during the break, yelling and screaming about how come he didn't get the football. And he just doesn't want the sack. These guys want to make touchdowns. Look at him. He's still mad.
The Vikings take great pride in developing their own players. Defensively, not signing big-name free agents. You look at Thomas, a third-round draft pick. Randall was not even drafted. Signed as a free agent. On second down, it's Allen once more. He has the first down.
Yeah, Kenny, you brought up a great story about Randall earlier today before the game. He came in here, his brother played on the Bucs, and this was back in '90 when Perkins was here, and he came in for a tryout, and Perkins didn't like it. He sent him back home.
Well, neither did 26 other slugs, obviously.
Yeah, we can't put it all in.
His brother Irvin Randall, a former Tampa Bay Buccaneer. But John very happy to be a Minnesota Viking these days.
Sure he is.
First down from the 28. Moon, after the double pump, down to the 23-yard line. Artie Nickerson there once again. Warren Moon, his 11th NFL season. He will turn 38 years of age next month. Six-time Pro Bowler. And you talk about the quarterback changes in Minnesota through the years. The last Viking QB to start all 16 games was back in 1979 when Tommy Kramer did so.
Kick left, overlap. Timeout!
And Moon calls timeout. Saw something he did not like. So Warren Moon heads over for a chat with Dennis Green, with the Vikings leading by 23. The 22-yard line. Terry Allen. Stop is made by Carl Wilson. Allen continues to pile up the yards for offensive coordinator Brian Billick.
When I talked to Billick earlier in the week, I asked him what was the most impressive thing about Warren coming in this year. And he said he came in with an attitude like, what can I do for you? And you figure a guy like Warren Moon, he can come in, pound his fist on the table and say, look, I want this changed, I want that changed, I want this guy out of here, here's how we're going to run it. He didn't come in there like that at all. He said, well, how do you want me to play? Do you want me to change my style? Because I want to do whatever I can to help out this organization and go to the Super Bowl.
Third down and 2. Moon's pass overthrown, intended for Qadry Ismail, who felt he was bumped beyond the 5-yard legal checking area. Happy Halloween, Ron.
Oh, thank you.
A Vikings fan here at Tampa Stadium.
Yeah, we go back to Qadry. Interesting story about he and his brother Rahib in the Rocket in high school. You know, he was the only guy fast enough to play fullback because he had to block for his brother. He's the only guy fast enough that could run in front of the Rocket and block for it.
And this a 38-yard attempt. Juan Revés now 4 of 4 this afternoon. The Vikings now lead 33-7. The Bill Walsh Empire fostered a ripe foursome of current head coaches, including 49er successor George Seifert, Mike Holmgren of the Packers, Vikings coach Dennis Green, and Buccaneers head man Sam Weish. Dennis Green and Sam Weish shared an office in San Francisco back in 1979. Weish, the quarterbacks coach with the 49ers, and Green handled the special teams.
Don't forget about Sam and his flying escapades. He's all over the air.
Went up for a spin yesterday afternoon following practice. In fact, Green and Weish, this their 5th meeting as NFL coaches, with the Vikings having won 3 of the previous 4. They also faced each other from opposite sidelines in 1983 when Dennis Green's Northwestern squad defeated Indiana, coached by Sam Weish, 10-8. Juan Revés, who was perfect today, 4 for 4 on field goals, 3 of 3 extra points, kicks it off. Vernon Turner, who has had himself a very busy day, pulled down by number 59, Ashley Shepard, after a 26-yard return. So once again, Trent Dilfer will lead the Buccaneers out.
Ashley Shepard may not get credit for it, but he just saved a touchdown right there. They had a lane all the way to the goal line. He doesn't grab a shoestring and make a tackle.
Trent Dilfer, 7 of 23 last week in San Francisco, with 250 friends and family in attendance. McDowell in motion from the 27. Dilfer steps up, and he is picked off by Dwayne Washington. One first-round draft pick intercepts another. And a flag on the play. Dwayne Washington holding on to the football.
After the interception, personal foul, face mask, number 86, first down, Minnesota.
That is Ty.J. Armstrong, who was fined after last week's game. So Dilfer picked off by Washington, his second interception of the season.
Let's look for the face mask right here. You know, that's a real weak call. I mean, the guy is on the ground. It's not like he ripped his head and tore his helmet off of his head. And I think they got to find another call to make. But a lot of credit goes to this man here. A lot of people think he's going to be the Rookie of the Year on defense, period.
Brad Johnson in at quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. So Warren Moon takes a seat with his club leading 33-7. Johnson hands it off to Scotty Graham. Brad Johnson, in his third year out of Florida State, he started only one game for the Seminoles. Johnson backed up Casey Weldon, who was the third-string quarterback here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brad Johnson did see action week 3 against the Bears. There is Casey Weldon, who was the starter ahead of Brad Johnson at Florida State. Johnson 3 of 3 for 16 yards against Chicago 6 weeks ago. And he continues his perfect streak this season, now 4 of 4. Andrew Jordan, his fourth reception of the ball game as this third quarter comes to an end. The score from Tampa, the Vikings 33, the Buccaneers 7. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages.
This is Elvira. Happy Halloween from Fox.
Go for the gold, NFL Gold, with the most elite group in the NFL, ProLine's Quarterback Gold Club. Now you can own a limited edition black featuring gold cards of all 18 members of this exclusive organization. Gold cards are among the most sought after in the collecting hobby, and these gold cards already are 2 years old. Each UV-coated card is encased in a removable plastic holder, then mounted to a huge wood plaque featuring a black marble finish. So you can remove each card to enhance your enjoyment of your collectible and replace it in the holder to keep it in mint condition. Each 16 by 20 inch plaque also features a gold nameplate containing the NFL logo and each plaque's individual number in the edition of 1992. The all-important certificate of limited edition and NFL certified collectible sticker also are a part of this package. This card set wouldn't be complete without the presence of the golden arm of quarterback Troy Aikman of the Dallas Cowboys. Aikman is one of the 18 great signal colors represented in this collectible. Many of these players are in different uniforms these days, so this is a vintage plaque that any NFL fan will cherish. The quarterback gold set is the most sought-after insert group from ProLine's 1992 card set. The ProLine quarterback gold plaque, officially licensed by the NFL and ready to hang on your wall. Remember, quantities are limited, so call right now for an opportunity to pick up this great NFL collectible.
You are watching NFL Sunday Ticket.
The Vikings lead the Buccaneers on this Halloween Eve by the score of 33-7. As we get set for this fourth quarter of play, it has been all Minnesota Vikings, the Buccaneers, Ron, have turned the ball over 5 times.
Well, the turnovers is key for them, but you know what? Coming into this game, the Vikings were only +1. And today they've been able to explode and get a lot of turnovers and turn those into points.
On 3rd and 1, number 31, Scotty Graham, he fumbled. Bit of a delayed reaction. None of the players around realized the ball popped out. The center, Jeff Christie, looked to have fallen on the football, although a couple of the Buccaneers say they have it. Number 93, Demetrius Dubose, down at the bottom of the pile.
Let's take a look here and see if we can determine where the fumble occurs. That ball's out. And Christie laying on the pile there after having blocked, just kind of leans over and gets on it. But, you know, they had a big fumble against the Giants, that same kind of deal, leading up there with Allen, who was the back at the time, and it hit Randall McDaniel's arm as Moon tried to come out from underneath the center.
4th down and 1 upcoming. The Vikings call timeout.
New thinking in automobiles. By Heineken, the #1 imported beer. Heineken, just being the best is enough. By McDonald's, the official restaurant of the National Football League. And by RCA, changing entertainment again.
Juan Revés will attempt a 35-yard field goal with the Vikings up 33-7. He has already hit 4 of 4. A 5th field goal would tie Juan's career best, set last year against the Packers. Juan Revés now 5 of 5. The Vikings lead the Buccaneers 36-7. Hands on hand here in Tampa as their club leads the Buccaneers 36-7. Juan Revés, who was right here in Tampa Stadium, Ron, January of '91 in the broadcast booth during the Super Bowl. Juan has handled the color commentary on the Spanish language Univision for the last 5 Super Bowls. And today he is 5 of 5 on field goals. Vernon Turner dances across midfield. Remember, he scored an 80-yard kick return touchdown earlier this season. And this time, Vernon Turner with a 77-yard return all the way down to the Vikings 22.
Well, I mentioned it a little earlier, but he fumbled the ball on that one punt return. This is the only excitement that the Bucs have had all year, and it's been in this man right here, Turner. And the thing he does so well is he jogs. Now he's going to accelerate through the hole and in the daylight. And we got to give the credit here to Qadry Ismail, because he makes a play and pushes a defender out of the way and comes down and makes the tackle. He is the only man left that can save that touchdown.
On 1st down, Anthony McDowell.
Looking at Turner there, and he knows he's the only guy on this team that can really generate any excitement, or the only guy that has generated any excitement in the last couple weeks.
2nd down and 10. That 77-yard kick return by Vernon Turner, the longest in Buccaneer history. Yet they have still not reached the end zone. Here's the screen pass intended for Eric Rett. It'll be a 3rd down and 10 for the rookie out of Fresno State, Trent Dilfer.
But you know what I liked about that play is that Dilfer knew the blitz was on, and he knew where he had to put the football. 2 weeks ago, Kenny, he wasn't getting that check. He would hold it, then look out there to Rett, which was a safety valve. He recognized it, and it hit him right now. That ball should have been caught by Eric Rett.
Dilfer out of the shotgun on third down, and he overthrows Jackie Harris.
Yeah, Harris ran an in route, a quick turn. Trent threw the ball to the outside. Somebody's not on the same page. Right here, watch Jackie. He's going to take off inside here. And see, that's the exact ball that got intercepted earlier in the game by Parker. That wasn't Parker there, but the same kind of miscommunication as to whether it's an out or an in route. The DB's looking at the quarterback. He knows what it is right now.
And the Buccaneers will go for it on 4th down and 10. Incomplete. Courtney Hawkins, the intended receiver. So the Buccaneers are stopped on downs. 13:22 remaining in this 4th quarter. It is all Minnesota. 3-yard line. Brad Johnson in relief of Warren Moon, and his pass is complete to the tight end Andrew Jordan. John Lynch made the stop.
You know, the Bucs, they run this 5 defensive back alignment. That Bucko, who's a combination DB linebacker, and that's Barney Bussey, and John Lynch, he plays that as well. But you know, I kind of wonder, maybe that hurts them because they don't have a third, quote-unquote, real linebacker in there. We saw how many times that the middle of the field has been voided out.
Flags on the play on 2nd down.
Kenny, I'm not so sure the offensive line for the Minnesota Vikings isn't the best in the NFL right now. They prove it every time they run the football with Allen, but you know, they just got talent across the board.
There is no infraction on the play. Please reset the play clock to 10 seconds.
A very courteous referee, Johnny Greer, asking to please reset the play clock.
We're looking there at Christie and Bernard Daphne. Well, what a game Reggie White had against Daphne a couple weeks ago. Green Bay went up, played in there. You know, it's really unfair to criticize Daphne for having trouble with Reggie, because they say Reggie had a classic game, a legendary Reggie White football game.
Scotty Graham lost his footing. Stopped 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage.
An interesting story behind Stussy, the left tackle for the Vikings. When he came into camp, they immediately put him at guard because they figured, well, we don't want to throw a rookie out there at the tackle position, and he was having a lot of trouble as we look at him here on the run block. But when they put him to tackle, he shined. He said it was the perfect place for him because that's the place he played in college most of the time.
Johnson in trouble, dumps it off to Adrian Cooper. Stopped shy of the 30-yard line. Not enough for a Vikings first down, so Mike Saxon will come on and punt for only the 2nd time this afternoon. In fact, the Vikings have scored on 7 of their 10 possessions. 7 of their 10 offensive possessions, 5 field goals, 2 touchdowns, and this only the 2nd punt. There is Vernon Turner, who returned a punt 80 yards for a touchdown against Detroit a couple of weeks back. Just moments ago, a 77-yard kickoff return. Saxon, the all-time leading punter in Dallas Cowboys history, back at his own 15. Ball takes a Vikings bounce, and it is down at the 23-yard line. 48-yard punt by Saxon. Trent Dilfer and the Bucs back on the field.
Yeah, the penalty here is he's 59. He's got to be on the line of scrimmage. And he wasn't on the line of scrimmage, and it's a legal formation.
So the Vikings will punt once again. Ashley Shepard was not on the line. Some unhappy Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans with their club about to drop to 2 up and 6 down. Bucs will host Chicago next week. Vernon Turner awaits the Mike Saxon punt. Once again, Turner lets it bounce out of bounds at the 28. 47 yards on the punt by Mike Saxon. Coach Sam Weish as Trent Dilfer playing in his 4th National Football League game. In relief of Craig Erickson, Dilfer started last week. With the Buccaneers trailing 36-7. Minnesota led 10-0 after 1, 23-7 at halftime. 5 field goals by Fuad Reveiz. Dilfer on first down. He finds Lawrence Dawsey splitting through a pair of Viking defenders. Spoke earlier about Lawrence Dawsey as Dilfer heads back to the line of scrimmage. Dawsey returned last week from knee surgery after missing 17 consecutive games. On third down and 2, some movement on the line as James Harris looked to go early. Eric Rett on the carry. There were flags.
They're going to get Harris on this one. Up top, he jumps. Yeah, the thing going back to Dawsey and that injury he had.
Offside, 99, defense. First down.
That is Harris, the right defensive end.
There he is. He's just going to try to anticipate that snap count. And you got to know the guy is closer to the football than anybody else except for Thomas and Randall. You got to believe he's not looking at the football. He's listening to the snap count. And this is where Dilfer, as a rookie, has got to vary his snap count.
From the 42, Eric Rett taken down by James Harris.
Anyway, going back to Lawrence Dawsey, he had that knee surgery and he missed all last year. And the thing about that is he came back, and he actually came back, and he's now faster than he was last year in his 40 time. And he attributes that to hard work as far as rehabilitation is concerned, but also he works with a parachute. He ties a parachute behind his back and he runs downhill with it, and that helps his strength in his knees.
Do you think they used parachutes back in the days of Jim Brown?
I don't think so.
This is Ty J. Armstrong. 8-yard gain. Carlos Jenkins made the stop.
Unfortunately for Trent, he's always in these situations. He started in San Francisco, and yeah, the 49ers run a very vanilla type style and all that, and that was one of the reasons Sam wanted to start him and give him some time. But you're still talking about a team there and a team here that's got pretty good talent on defense. It's not like Trent Dilfer is playing against sub-average teams.
Eric Rett. It becomes a question of playing the rookie, the #1 quarterback, or the #1 draft pick in game situations, or playing the veteran Craig Erickson, who you feel may give you a better chance of winning the ball game.
Right. Well, like Sam told us yesterday, this thing isn't over. This isn't the last of Trent Dilfer before this game. And sure enough, here he is now. And I'm sure it'll be the same thing next week and the week after.
Unfortunately for the Buccaneers, it is mop-up duty as Dilfer lobs it up there, intended for Lawrence Dawsey. Double coverage on the play from Dwayne Washington and Vincey Glenn.
Yeah, but it always goes back to the rush. Randall, again, they're inside on him. Watch the way they loop around. They find a way to get to the quarterback, and the quarterback feels that pressure, even though they're not there. I mean, there's all kind of sounds and pops and grunts and screams going on down below. He hears that, especially that inside coverage or that inside pressure. That's color in his face right now, and it's very distracting.
On third down and 9, Dilfer's pass is complete. Eric Rett. Make that Anthony McDowell, but he is stopped short of the first down. Malik Boyd made the stop after a gain of 7. And once again, it is a 4th down situation. Henry Thomas a bit shaken up.
I think Thomas is just tired of getting home. He's tired of rushing the passer. They're talking to him last night. There's nothing like Thomas and Randall in the same room together. Two of the craziest guys. They come in with tank top shirts on, tattoos everywhere. I mean, they're grabbing food. You know, they're fun guys to be around, but they're just wild and crazy. Thomas says, yeah, I love to play video games, especially the ones where I can reach in and rip a guy's head off.
And they back up that talk on the field. Next Sunday, Fox Sports brings you Week 10 NFL action. As most of you will see, the first place Vikings against the New Orleans Saints, or Buddy Ryan's return to Philadelphia, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Philadelphia Eagles at 4 Eastern, 3 Central. The afternoon gets underway with JB, Jimmy Johnson, Terry Bradshaw, and Howie Long. Fox NFL Sunday starting at noon Eastern, 11 Central, right here on Fox Sports.
Yeah, go back to some of the things they like to do. He says, you know, I got cable TV, and so that means I don't get much rest, because when you got cable TV, there's so much on, you can't go to sleep. He ends up watching a lot of animal shows, and that's where he gets his motivation from. He jumps over here, and I think as he came over the top of McCray, his foot was in an awkward position, or his knee was. Doesn't look real serious. He walked off the field in his own power.
On 4th down and 3, Lawrence Dawsey has the first down, 6-yard gain. Lamar McGriggs made the tackle, but the Buccaneers able to capitalize on 4th down and 3 as Dilfer found Dawsey.
Yeah, Sam Weiss is such a patient man, and you can see his patience right here. He's just got to leave Trent in there and just let him get his reps. And what else can he do? His next step will be to go to Weldon, but, you know, he knows that perhaps in the organization, Weldon is not what they look at as the future. This man here, I'm sure, is what they look at as the future.
Movement on the line, flags thrown as Dilfer goes deep, and it is caught by Lawrence Dawsey inside the 5-yard line. So the Dilfer-Dawsey combination good for 31 yards. And the penalty.
Offside. 99. Defense is declined. First down.
Okay, now that's twice now for Harris. And all it is Harris is not watching the football. And now let's give some credit to Trent Dilfer, because he's switching up that snap count, which all great quarterbacks will do, to try to confuse people, and it's working too. But I like the presence of mind of Trent Dilfer, and a great job of coming back to the football and recognizing an underthrown ball by Lawrence Dawsey.
The longest completion of Trent Dilfer's 4-game NFL career so far, 31 yards. First and goal. Dilfer was looking for Eric Rett. Now here's a situation where Dilfer can get in some work in the red zone.
Well, that's it, and that's the one zone that the Bucs have had a lot of trouble scoring in. Thus far, before this game, they've been in the red zone 12 times and have only scored 5 touchdowns.
Right. Dilfer 5 of 7. This is the 10th play of the Buccaneers drive. Dilfer rolling right. Touchdown, Courtney Hawkins.
I think that's good for Dilfer's confidence. He's got to get one ball in the end zone, prove he can go on a drive like he just did. I want you to watch the protection on the right side. He's got time to look. He's got time to make a throw. And they had a bad matchup. Carlos Jenkins, excuse me, is a linebacker. He's playing man-to-man on Courtney Hawkins. That's not going to work. He just ran a little out route, got the ball, stepped in.
And the Buccaneers will try for 2. They were successful twice last week. And the pass intended for Hawkins is broken up. But Trent Dilfer with the first touchdown pass of his National Football League career. Hawkins' second trip to the end zone this season. It is now 36-13.
Son, can I see you for a moment? Yeah.
You sent that package FedEx like I asked, right?
Well, Carol, sometimes you...
From Tampa Stadium, where the Vikings lead the Buccaneers in this NFC Central Division battle 36-13. Trent Dilfer connecting with Courtney Hawkins on a 3-yard touchdown for the Buccaneers. The first TD pass, first of many, I'm sure, in Trent Dilfer's NFL career. And now the question we discussed last week during the Buccaneers 49ers game during the fourth quarter. If you were Sam Weish, next week, Buccaneers Bears here in Tampa, do you go back to Craig Erickson or do you give Trent Dilfer another shot?
Well, I messed that question up last time you asked me that, so I'm just going to be neutral at this time and say that Sam is going to keep the door revolving. So look for both of them to play next time out.
The kickoff by Michael Hustad. Andre Ismail for the Vikings. Wrestled to the ground by Tony Stargell after a 19-yard return. At the end of this afternoon's game, Ron and I will select the Miller Lite player of the game, so stay tuned. Brad Johnson leading the Vikings back on. Ron, Charlie Ward was not the first Florida State quarterback to also play basketball for the Seminoles. Brad Johnson for 2 years, a member of the Florida State basketball team as well as the Seminoles football squad. Johnson coming on in the second half, replacing the veteran Warren Moon as the Vikings keep it on the ground. Robert Smith. There is Warren Moon.
Looking at Warren Moon right there, but Robert Smith had just carried there. Talk about a guy that had some bad luck in '93. During the season, not only did he end up blowing his knee out and going out for the rest of the year, but during that same season, he had the chicken pox at one point. He had an ear infection. I mean, how bad can things go in your rookie year in the NFL? I think he's just happy to be healthy right now.
And he remains in the ball game, and the pass is headed his way from Johnson. Smith breaks a couple of tackles close to the first down marker. Demetrius DeVos on the stop.
And if it looks like Robert Smith is a runner and can run fast, well, it's because he can. At Ohio State, he was on that 4x4 relay team that set the NCAA world record. And he's a different kind of guy. You look at him, you know, he's not really a pounder in there. We saw him spin away from a tackle real nice there, but kind of looks like Rod Woodson as he gets going. You know, the high knee action, the high heel kick in the back. Here's a guy that loves to study, loves to read books. We talked about him going into med school.
Smith, also an amateur astronomer, takes the handoff from Johnson. During training camp, Robert Smith built a remote control replica World War II German anti-aircraft tank.
In fact, he was late. Yeah, he was in one of the little meeting rooms there, and he was pounding out track for the tires that go, you know, things that go around on the tank, the treads that go around on the tank, and guys were walking in and asking, "What are you doing?" You know, everybody else is tired, they're sleeping, they're trying to get rest. Robert Smith's in there building models.
Passers-by thought they heard a fight going on, all the banging in the dorm room during training camp. On second down, Johnson, his pass is complete. Adrian Cooper up to the 39-yard line. Gain of 6 for the former Steeler. Adrian Cooper finally out of the shadows of Eric Green.
And these guys, they use a 2 tight end situation. And what the 2 tight end alignment does for you, what it does is it takes away your run force. You don't know where to put your strong safety. Generally, the strong safety goes to the tight end side. Well, if you got 2 tight ends in the game, you put them to one side, they got just as much strength running on the opposite side.
Johnson 5 of 5. On 3rd and 2, he finds Cooper once again. And he is stopped short of the first down. Flags on this play with 3:01 remaining in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, Cooper, another guy here, came in a trade this year from Pittsburgh. Look at the offsides call. And I'm surprised how big these guys are. That kind of shows you that they're not interested just in having the tight end as a catching tight end. They want him to block, too. Adrian Cooper, 6'5", 268.
Offside, 75 defense. Line up in the neutral zone. First down.
That is Eric Curry, who did not record a tackle in the Buccaneers game against the 49ers, having a disappointing season. After the penalty, first down for the Vikings. Johnson perfect this year, 9 of 9. Charles Evans, the fullback. Taken down. Not yet.
Not yet.
Hanatu there. Barney Bussey as well.
Chidi a ride.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the National Football League is prohibited. Thanks to our producer, Bill Brown, director, Peter Blechter, statistician, Eric Merlis, and our spotter here in the booth, Ben Boma. Brad Johnson. Extensive playing time here in the second half with the Vikings opening up the big lead. It is 36-13 Minnesota. Charles Evans once again. As we approach the 2-minute warning from Tampa, it's the Vikings 36 and the Buccaneers 13. Continue to lead the NFC East after their victory over Cincinnati. The Eagles also won this afternoon. The Cardinals play the Steelers tonight. The Vikings will move to 6-2. The Buccaneers will fall to 2-6 in the NFC Central. The entire NFC Western Division off here in Week 9. Next Sunday, Fox Sports brings you Week 10 NFL action. Most of you will see the Saints against the Vikings or the Eagles and the Cardinals. Philadelphia and Arizona at 4 Eastern, 3 Central. The afternoon begins with Fox NFL Sunday at noon Eastern. 2 minutes remaining. 36-13, Minnesota Vikings lead. Charles Evans pushed back by Demetrius Dubose. The Minnesota Vikings will host the New Orleans Saints next Sunday. Vikings will make it 3 consecutive victories with their win here today. Ron, we talked earlier, Vikings #1 in the NFL against the run, averaging only 65 yards a game. Well, they held the Buccaneers to 49 rushing yards.
Yeah, I think the big deal here has been Tampa Bay's front four. The Vikings talked about all week long how they didn't feel they were real strong there, and as a result, they didn't stop the run, and they couldn't get a lot of pressure on Warren Moon when it counted.
Charles Evans, this also the 3rd time in 8 games the Vikings have scored over 35 points. So their offense getting the job done. Warren Moon, 19 of 32, 182 yards, and he is our Miller Lite player of the game. 182 yards in the air, 1 touchdown for Warren Moon, and Terry Allen with 113 yards on 17 carries.
Yeah.
Warren Moon will now make it 15-2 in his last 17 games as a starter, dating back to last season in Houston.
Yeah, you know things are going real good for you when you're in the 3rd quarter, in the 4th quarter, you got all your stuff off and you're just sitting on the sidelines chilling.
Charles Evans on 3rd down, and that will just about do it. Coming up, The Simpsons 2-hour Halloween Scare-a-thon. Immediately following the conclusion of this ball game, Warren Moon, our Miller Lite player of the game, only his 2nd career game against the Buccaneers, and he comes out on top by the score of 36-13. Coach Dennis Green now 4-1 against Sam Weish and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who dropped to 2-6. The Vikings 6-2. Next week it will be Minnesota against New Orleans, while Tampa Bay will go up against the Chicago Bears. It'll be a very happy plane ride home for the Minnesota Vikings. Terry Allen, 113 yards. And Warren Moon, big smile on his face after the Vikings' 36-13 victory. This is Kenny Albert for Ron Pitt saying so long from Tampa. James Brown will be along from our...